Chapter 1. At the Victory Gala, the CEO fiancé's childhood sweetheart, Stella, dropped in from overseas. That night I watched my fiancé pull her into his arms without the slightest hesitation. He even picked up a guitar and played for her in front of everyone. The gala meant for me turned into Stella's welcome party. When I tried to take the dead-drunk Chase home, he bellowed at me in front of the whole room, not caring that he was shredding my dignity. "Leave me alone. Go home and get lost. Stop killing the mood." Seeing the disgust in his eyes, the heart that had burned for him swayed for the first time. Back home, my assistant sent me a clip. On-screen Chase held Stella's hand, tenderness flooding his eyes as he bared his heart. "Stella, I've waited 5 years for you. Don't leave again, stay with me from now on, alright?" The man I had loved for 5 years, and this was what I got in return. I stared at his bloodshot eyes in the video. I knew it was time to let this relationship go. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening. The dark bedroom was silent, only the wind howled outside the window. Cold, I felt chilled to the bone. I watched the muted video on my phone, yet in my head I kept hearing Chase, half drunk, confessing love to Stella. He spoke of how hard these 5 years had been, of days and nights pining for her until it tore him apart. In that instant I understood, I had lost completely. For 5 years I had stayed by Chase's side, meticulously running every facet of the company. To close deals I had drunk until I hemorrhaged. I had kept his firm steady in a business world that devoured its own. Once, late at night, he had cupped my face and vowed he would never let me down. He had promised we would marry this national day. We had been only days away. Now I knew I had been wrong. I drew a long breath and called brother. "Brother, I want to come home." On the other end Leo went quiet for a second. He sensed something was off, but he didn't pry. "Then come on back. A fight's a fight, you think I'd hold a grudge? I can still afford to keep my little sister." My throat tightened. Our parents died years ago. He was the only family I had left. We had fought countless times over Chase. Brother had warned me we lived in different worlds, that he knew men. Chase would never be a good match. He was afraid I'd be discarded, afraid I'd be hurt. But back then I didn't care about mismatched doors and windows. I believed love meant charging ahead, fearless of wind and rain. I had even declared that if Chase ever changed his mind, I could walk away without a scratch. Now the bullet I had fired sailed straight back into my forehead. Chase had indeed changed, and I was anything but carefree. I swallowed the sob. "Brother, sorry, for making you worry all these years." Leo scoffed in jest, but the ache in his voice was clear. "Alright, enough mush. I'll wait for you. And," he paused. "if there's trouble, don't hide it. I'm here." A cracked laugh slipped out, hoarse. "Relax, brother. I can handle it." I hung up and tried to compose myself before washing up for bed. Just then my phone buzzed with another video, from Stella. In it she nestled in Chase's arms, smiling blissfully. The man's gentle voice sounded, "Stella, I love you. This time I won't let go." When the words ended Chase bent and kissed her, long and desperate, neither of them willing to part. It felt as though a wire in my mind snapped, my heart turned to ash. The man for whom I had given everything had left me in ruins. 5 years of devotion had become a joke. So Chase could show love, could be that tender, just never to me. I turned off the phone, ignoring Stella's taunt, and wrapped myself tight in the quilt. That night I slept fitfully. The next morning Chase had somehow arrived and was eating breakfast in the living room. When he saw me he greeted me as always. "You're up. Come eat. I got in late, you were asleep so I crashed in the guest room." Without lifting my head I gave a low reply. I walked to the table and ate in silence. Neither of us spoke. Chase kept glancing over, gauging my mood. After a while he finally broke the quiet. "Don't be mad. I was drunk last night, I shouldn't have yelled." "Sorry." My tone was flat. "It's fine, Mia." He pressed his lips together, hesitating. I looked up, voice calm. "Say what you want." Chase's eyes darkened, expression turning serious. "Mia, we're getting married soon. You're exhausted, it hurts me to watch. I can handle the company myself. So, resign. Stay home and be my Mrs. Fulton in peace." After Stella heard about my plan, she was terrified you'd take it the wrong way and felt awful. She even says she'll come pay a proper visit soon. With that, Chase draped an arm around my shoulders and added softly, "Stella's a simple girl. If she doesn't understand something, just teach her. I'm sure the two of you will get along great." I laughed coldly inside, a wave of nausea rising. 3 sentences, and every one of them featured Stella. Suddenly, I couldn't see through Chase anymore. The words he'd slurred to Stella last night while drunk floated back, clear as ever. Yet now he still played the hypocrite in front of me? Fine. If he wanted to keep acting, I'd play along. Soon enough this circus would fold its tent. I drew a deep breath, tugged free of his hand, and said, "Spare me. I understand. We'll do it your way." Chase blinked, plainly stunned I'd agreed so easily, then beamed. "Perfect." I told Stella she overthought it. "My Mia's too reasonable to fuss over a trifle. Don't worry, Mia. Once everything's settled, the next stop is our wedding." However, I lifted my gaze to him, lips curving in a faint smile. "You want me to quit? Fine. I'm still a minority shareholder. Since I'm leaving, let's get my portion valued and paid at once." It wasn't petty distrust of Stella's competence. My post sat at the company's core. One careless move could torpedo everything Chase and I had built. I wouldn't gamble, and I didn't owe them my stake. Now that the love had curdled, the least I could do was protect my own interests. Hearing my resignation terms, Chase froze. "Mia, what are you talking about?" Eyes dark, he reclaimed the old icy edge. "You're resigning, but you're still family, my future. We're getting married. Why draw a ledger line? Don't you trust me, or are you treating me like some outsider?" He stared at me, indignant, uncomprehending. I met his gaze without flinching, voice steady. "Chase, we're not husband and wife yet. You're my boyfriend and my boss. Let's keep business exactly that, business, so no future headaches sprout." Chapter 3 Consider the payout my dowry to myself. I paused, calm and unhurried. "And follow standard exit protocol. Also, don't forget the severance Fulton owes me for termination without cause." His face went completely dark. Jaw tight, he spoke low. "Mia, are you throwing a tantrum? You misunderstand." Arms folded, I studied him coolly. "You know me, Chase, I keep emotion out of accounting." He caught the subtext and fell silent, cheeks even grayer, searching for a comeback. At last he exhaled, sounding almost weary. "Are you really going to split pennies with me?" I tipped my head, tone lightly puzzled. "I'm only stating standard exit demands." "Too much to ask, CEO?" I bit hard on CEO, a title I'd rarely used inside Fulton these 5 years. Chase used to say it sounded too distant in front of staff and begged me to watch my tone. I disagreed. When he couldn't outstubborn me, he let it go. His irises cooled, a flicker of something unreadable crossing them. Lips flattening, he spoke suddenly. "You've changed, Mia." I smoothed a strand of hair and smiled. "You're overthinking." "I'm finished, see you later." I rose and started for the door. Chase stopped me sharply. "What if I refuse your terms?" I glanced back, perfectly pleasant. "Then let's stick to process. Wire the severance. Otherwise I'll file a wrongful termination claim, and nobody enjoys courtroom gossip." I know he's torn, the severance he might swallow, but my shares? He'd rather not pay for those. Yet why does he imagine he's the only one allowed to wield an abacus? 2 seasoned foxes, who's pretending to be naive? He stood frozen. I didn't linger, turning straight for the elevator. At Fulton I nearly collided with Stella on her first day. Spotting me, she rushed forward, smile dazzling. "Cameron, please look after me from now on." I met her gaze, the provocation glittered. I answered with a slight curve of my lips, voice cool. "With Chase around, you'll do just fine." A nod, and I walked on. Behind me, her grin collapsed, resentment flashing. I knew, every jab in yesterday's video, every double meaning today, was staged to make me shriek like a madwoman. And I disappointed her. Back in my office, I dove into handoff work and didn't surface until noon. "Sam," my assistant burst in, panicked. "I heard you're quitting, is it true? Who told you?" I blinked. Chase had floated it only this morning. How many minutes had passed? We hadn't even settled the terms. She checked the corridor, shut the door, and whispered, "That Rowan woman you toasted at the Victory Gala, she strutted in at dawn and bragged everywhere." I didn't buy it. "How can she replace you?" "She's right." "What?" The assistant's jaw dropped. I smiled faintly, voice unruffled. "If everything goes smoothly, I'm leaving." "Why?" She flushed with indignation. "CEO's lost his mind? You've slogged 5 years, a backdoor hire kicks you out like this?" Then, cautious, she added, Sam, our CEO and that Rowan girl, doesn't matter anymore. I cut in gently. Less gossip, more action. She pouted and shuffled out. I pressed my lips together, thoughts spiraling. So Chase wanted me gone fast, couldn't even wait. Near quitting time came a knock. Come in. Stella slipped through the doorway, Chase shadowing her. Chapter 4. Sam. She approached with pinched lips, looking fragile. Brother told me everything. If it really bothers you, just say you hate me, don't hold back. As he spoke, he looked toward Chase, the rims of his eyes already reddening. Chase has had it rough all these years. Why make things harder for him because of Stella? If I'm the problem, I'll just leave. Stella dabbed away the tears at the corners of her eyes, whimpering softly. Chase's gaze darkened and he comforted her, heart aching. What are you talking about? This has nothing to do with you. How very entertaining. I couldn't help letting out a soft laugh. I raised my eyes to Chase. Ignoring the affectionate little duet the two of them were playing, I spoke coldly. After all these years, I'm only stating my terms to CEO Fulton. If he can't meet them, I won't push him into a corner. At worst. I paused, then said carelessly, I'll find another buyer for my shares. At those words Chase's face changed and Stella froze for an instant. I sneered inwardly. I knew Chase far too well. He had let Stella come and talk to me because he wanted us to bicker so I'd hand over my stock in a huff. He just hadn't figured I would refuse to take the bait, and could be this ruthless. Still, he could tell I wasn't bluffing. Seeing Chase silent, I lifted a brow and put on a show of understanding. In that case, it's settled. I stood to leave, but Chase suddenly called after me. Fine, I'll buy. I glanced back, amusement in my tone. And the rest of what you owe me, CEO Fulton? Chase drew a deep breath, teeth clenched. You'll get every cent you're owed. Good. Then have the contract signed and I'll start the handover with Stella at once. I arched a brow, pulled a lawyer-drafted agreement from my bag, and held it out to him. The man stared blankly, he hadn't expected me to come so prepared. His brows were heavy, his face ugly with anger, but he signed all the same. When everything was wrapped up and I was heading home, Chase spoke again out of nowhere. Pack a bag. You're coming to my place tonight, my family wants to see you. I was startled, but I didn't refuse. After 5 years with Chase I had met his family officially only twice. He told me they were always busy, but I knew the truth. A girl from an ordinary family like mine was supposedly reaching too high. They thought I was after his money and looked down on me. I didn't care. If I chose Chase, I chose everything that came with him. Yet they had never taken me seriously. Tonight's invitation, I guessed, was about the way I'd cornered him. That evening Chase picked me up, Stella rode with us. The moment we reached the Fulton house Stella flew into Mrs. Fulton's arms, effusive as ever. I had to admit she had a gift for making people adore her. Within minutes she had Chase's mother beaming. Only then did Chase cut in. Mom, Mia's here. Mrs. Fulton's smile cooled a few degrees when she noticed me. Don't stand on ceremony, sit. I nodded, settled myself with poise, and for once felt no fluster. She gave me an indifferent once-over and skipped the small talk. Mia, Stella tells me you're selling your shares and demanding a large payment. You and Chase are about to marry, we'll be family. If word of this leaks, people will laugh. I curved my lips slightly. Mrs. Fulton, Chase and I have already settled the matter. He has no objections. You, she choked on the word and shot Chase a fierce glare. Fulton's elder daughter, Jamie, snapped, Mia, who do you think you are? Without my brother's backing, someone with your background. Jamie. Chase frowned and barked her name. She snorted and stalked off to her room. The temperature in the room plunged. Dinner tasted like dust. I picked up my food and slipped away on my own. That night I packed and drove straight back to my hometown. Next morning Chase called. Where are you? The landlord says you moved out last night? Chapter 5. His voice, urgent and bewildered, crackled through the phone. I leaned against an old wooden chair in my hometown house, surrounded by the familiar, yet my heart was tranquil. I'm home, Chase. I answered flatly, without a ripple of emotion. Home? Mia, what does that mean? Why didn't you tell me? Do you know how worried I've been? You, reproach threaded his tone. We're finished. I cut him off before he finished. What? Shock laced his voice. I drew a slow breath. Calmly, distinctly, I said, Chase, let's break up. From now on we owe each other nothing. Break up? He gave a disbelieving laugh, anger edging in. Mia, what stunt is this? We're getting married and you tell me we're over? A mocking laugh escaped me. Chase, how can you still be performing? Aren't you exhausted? What? I pressed my lips together and spoke coolly. Chase, is the woman you really want at the altar me? Go find Stella. You've misunderstood. Panic flickered in his voice. Stella and I are only friends, nothing more, you have to believe me. Enough. I lost patience. Chase, I've made myself clear. We're done. Don't ever contact me again. I hung up before he could reply and blocked every trace of him. His explanations were a joke. I'm a grown woman, I can read what's in front of me. His feelings for Stella go far beyond friendship, I'd sensed it even when I refused to believe. And the night he was drunk, every truth he'd hidden came spilling out. Why keep lying to myself? Early next morning Leo shook me awake. Noticing my swollen eyes, he teased, wow, tears for breakfast again? He's just a guy, worth all this? I rolled my eyes and left it at that. What do you want? He raised a brow. Any job leads? None. I flopped back down, ready for more sleep. He hauled me upright again, and I finally snapped. What is it? I just got home yesterday. I'm in no rush, so go do your thing and leave me alone. Tisk, Leo folded his arms and looked me over with disdain. Sis, really? One breakup and you're in ashes? He lounged against the doorframe, brow cocked. And here I was, kind enough to line up a contact. Plan to introduce you today. Who? Leo mussed my hair with a grin, playing mysterious. An old acquaintance. You'll see when we get there. Stop dragging your feet and get dressed. With that, Leo turned and walked out. Suddenly he paused, as if something had occurred to him, and looked back. Put some effort into your outfit, all right? It's only polite. Yeah. Feeling puzzled, I shoved Leo out and shut the door. An hour later, at the corner cafe, the midsummer air felt stifling. I glanced at my watch and complained, bro, when's this guy showing up? It's been half an hour. So rude. One more minute and I'm out. Leo shot me a look, clicked his tongue, and answered calmly, relax. He just texted, got held up tying up a loose end. He's on his way. I sipped my coffee, arms folded, and muttered, I hate people who can't keep time. I could have been home devouring watermelon in peace. Then let me buy you a watermelon later, as my apology, deal? The moment the words fell, a warm voice sounded beside me. Startled, I spun around. A cool yet gentle face filled my vision. For a second I froze. Chapter 6. Standing before me was my college mentor, Adrian. Seeing my expression, he let out a light laugh. Long time no see, Mia. His smile felt like a summer breeze, sweeping away every scrap of my irritation. I stared for a beat, then curved my lips in a small smile. Adrian, has it really been that long? Never guessed Leo's acquaintance was you. Hold on. Something clicked, and curiosity sparked. Adrian, how do you even know my brother? Adrian's smile widened. He pulled out a chair, sat with easy grace, and settled his gentle gaze on me. Call it fate. After graduation I launched my own startup, and the first person I hired was Leo. Only later did I discover you two were siblings. 7 years flew by, the company's gained some ground, and your brother's now a founding partner. We've become quite the team. When Leo mentioned you were back in town, I figured I'd drop by. Sorry I kept you waiting. I shook my head, the clouds inside me seemed to lift a little. It's fine, mentor. I turned to Leo, surprised. He lifted his chin, looking insufferably pleased. See? Adrian says I'm now a shareholder. Told you to come work with me, but no, you had to do your own thing. Then, as if remembering something, his face soured. Same privileged background, but look how brilliant Adrian is, unlike your former. I shot him a glare, and he clamped his mouth shut. Adrian chuckled and steered the topic elsewhere. You're back, but you probably don't have a job lined up. I've a few solid openings. If you're interested, I can arrange interviews. I blinked, thrilled yet a little embarrassed. Mentor, you haven't seen me in years. Jumping straight in feels awkward. Mia, I've always believed in you. Adrian's eyes held unmistakable sincerity. Wherever you go, you'll shine. Leo chimed in, stop being modest, he knows exactly what you're capable of. His words felt like an anchor, steadying the drift of my thoughts. I pressed my lips together, then smiled. Emery, I'll give it everything, and I won't let you down. That's how I joined Adrian's company. At first the gossip swirled. Adrian quietly handled every jab for me. I kept my head down, focused on the work, and within a month my results silenced every critic. Life seemed to be on an upswing. Memories of Chase faded, I barely thought of him anymore. Then one day my assistant called. Sam, I quit too. Surprised, I asked, what happened? Back when I left Fulton, I'd groomed her for 2 years, she could keep things running smoothly. Chase had to recognize her value, why would he let her go? She exhaled in frustration. I walked. And I'm not the only veteran heading for the door. Ever since you left, our department's been miserable. Stella knows zilch, yet she throws the CEO's name around like a whip. She screws up, we clean up, treated like pack mules and still get blamed. Chase isn't stepping in? I asked. Chapter 7. 5 years with Chase told me this. He might be garbage at relationships, but he's razor sharp about business. Choosing Stella could be excused as love blindness, but letting her run wild? She scoffed. Haven't seen him in over a month. Everything's dumped on Stella. Word is the company'll go bankrupt under her watch. Unlike her bitterness, I felt nothing. If Fulton crashed, it would be Chase's own doing, and none of my concern. We chatted a bit more, and I told her to interview with us if she needed a job. Her abilities speak for themselves. That evening, on Leo's orders, Adrian insisted on driving me home. I tried to refuse, but he wouldn't budge. Just as we reached my building, I spotted a familiar silhouette. Chase's eyes were sunken and bloodshot, his hair unkempt. The custom suit screamed money, yet he looked haggard. When he saw Adrian beside me, his gaze darkened further. Before I could speak, he demanded, "Who is he?" I almost laughed. "None of your business." "Why are you here?" He swallowed, a flash of hurt crossing his face. After a pause he muttered, "Mia, stop this. Come back with me." I met his eyes, voice glacial. "Chase, are you deaf?" "We are over." As I spoke, I turned to Adrian and inclined my head. "Mentor, excuse the mess. I've troubled you tonight." With that I started to leave, not even glancing at Chase. "Wait." Chase lunged, snatching my wrist in a hard grip. "Mia, I never agreed to break up. Let go." The bite of pain made me struggle, but he held on like a vice. "She said let go, what part didn't you understand?" My wrist went slack. Adrian strode forward, wrenched Chase's hand away, and stepped between us. Chase blinked, stunned, his brows crashed together. "Mind your own business," he snapped. "I'm talking to my girlfriend." Adrian didn't flinch. "Today it is my business, so what?" "You." No one ever dared needle him. Chase's face flushed scarlet. He swung his fist straight for Adrian's jaw. "Stop." I flinched, instinctively shielding Adrian, voice raw. "Chase, haven't you embarrassed yourself enough? When will you quit?" "I don't want to see you, get lost." Chase froze mid-punch, dazed, a flicker of grief in his eyes. "You're protecting him?" Red rimmed his gaze, rage and something like panic. In 5 years I'd never seen him so undone. "Mia, tell me the truth, are you dumping me because of this man? How could you betray me?" "Betray?" I laughed, cold and sharp. "Chase, I never wronged you, you're the one who failed me." I clicked play on the video my assistant and Stella had sent. Chapter 8. Chase's face drained as he watched. "No, that's not how it was, I was drunk, Mia, His lips trembled, words failed him. "Now you understand?" I looked at him without feeling. "I didn't betray you, you pushed me away." He lowered his head, fists clenched, fighting for control. Finally he lifted his gaze, voice pleading. "Mia, I owe you, I know. I screwed up. But believe me, I have no other feelings for Stella. Just chalk it up to a moment of idiocy, forgive me." "Enough." I cut him off. I drew a breath and met his eyes. Stop lying, Chase. I should have seen it sooner. You don't love me, maybe you never did. You love only yourself. Even without Stella we'd have ended. I'm human, I get tired. Chase, we're done. I turned to Adrian with a grateful smile. Mentor, thank you. I'll repay you properly another day. Adrian nodded, resting a reassuring hand on my shoulder. I gave a small smile and walked away. Mia. Chase stepped after me. Adrian blocked him. Eyes like winter steel, Adrian warned. President Fulton, have some dignity. Bother her again and the punch you didn't throw will land on you. Chase said nothing, rooted to the spot. Only when my living room light flicked on did Adrian drive off. Chase remained, memories flooding back. Every birthday I'd crafted perfect gifts, yet none rivaled a casual happy birthday text from Stella across an ocean. When she was unhappy he'd abandoned me the day after my miscarriage, flown overnight to shower fireworks on her while I wept alone. His family sneered at my orphan status. I cried in the dark while he murmured Stella's name in his sleep. Hurts piled too high to count, some he'd already forgotten. In his mind he'd never wronged me at all. A cold wind jolted him back. He stared at the warm square of light, despair in his eyes. For the first time he understood. He'd truly lost me. Jamie later he whispered, voice hoarse. Mia, sorry, I won't intrude again. Be happy. He turned and vanished into the night, erased from my world. I moved to the window, watching the darkness, a strange calm inside. 5 years with Chase, now a dream I'd woken from. I deleted every trace of him, shut the phone, and lay down. His lonely silhouette flashed behind my eyelids. I sighed, relieved. This time I won't look back. Let Chase stay in the past. Soon after, my assistant told me Fulton had collapsed. I felt a twinge, nothing more. Much later, in white satin, I asked Adrian, smiling. I turned you down once, yet here we are again. Adrian grinned. All along I was waiting where you left me. Before I could answer he pulled me close and kissed me. Laughter and cheers rang out. No one noticed the shadow in the corner. Chase finally understood. Some people, once lost, are gone forever. And I, grateful beyond words, realized someone can wait years, silently holding you in his heart. Even luckier, this time, the one who waited was the one I came back to. The end. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed the story, please like and share with friends. We'd love to read your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you next time.